Hello, and welcome back to the channel. This is the story of the murder of Tina Stewart. I watched the very first episode of Investigation Discovery's new series, Fear Thy Roommate. The episode is entitled There's a Crowd, and it appeared on December 31st, 2020. This case is about a young athlete who was trying to make a living for herself and was killed because she didn't get along with her roommate. Tina Stewart was a 21-year-old student athlete at Middle Tennessee University. She was described as being a very girly person, but was tough on the basketball court. Tina was starting her sophomore year when she was killed and had just gotten a new roommate named Shanterrica Madden, who was a freshman. When Tina and Shanterrica first moved in together in an off-campus apartment, they didn't know each other, but seemed to be fine and even friendly at first. However, it soon changed because of their different personalities clashing. Tina and Shanterica's families were both interviewed for this episode, and Tina was described as very clean, where Shanterica was messy. They would often get in fights about the house and about Tina's boyfriend, Casey, being there all the time. Tina even started posting on social media about how much she didn't like Shanterica, and since she was a popular athlete, people started to take notice of ongoing feuds, including friends of the girls. Several of the friends were also interviewed on the episode, and they all said that Tina was snarky to Shanterica's friends and vice versa. It was described as a toxic living situation until one day it finally escalated. On March 2nd, 2011, Shanterica came home with one of her friends and they thought no one was home, so they decided to smoke some marijuana in her room. However, Tina was actually home and was not happy about Shanterica smoking because she could get in she could get in trouble and lose her scholarship even from secondhand smoke. Tina decided she needed to call the police on her roommate, and she even tweeted, "I just called the police on my roommate. I feel like a snitch, but I hate that bitch." The police came to the apartment, and this made Shanterica even more upset. Tina and Shanterica got into an altercation that night about it, and Shanterica's friend Renee was there and said she heard them screaming at each other. Then it went quiet. Shanterica told Renee that everything was fine, and Renee said she left the apartment. Tina had plans with her boyfriend KC that night, and he was alarmed when he got a text message from her saying not to come. Casey was interviewed on this episode, and he said he decided to go to Tina's apartment anyways. When Casey got there, the lights were turned off, but Tina's car was still there. So he went inside and he was confronted by Shanterica, who just said Tina was not there, then left the apartment. Casey would find a horrific scene. He found Tina barely alive. She had been stabbed. Casey called 911 and then called Tina's dad, Adrian. Tina was rushed to the hospital but died on arrival. Tina died from a stab wound to her chest that hit an artery. The hunt was on for Shanterica, and she was found hiding in a nearby parking lot. She had also taken the murder weapon, which was a knife. She had it wrapped in a towel and tossed it. Shanterica Madden was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. She was also charged with tampering with evidence after trying to throw away the murder weapon. At her trial, Shanterica said she killed Tina in self-defense. She said they had gotten into a fight with both girls shoving and pushing each other. She said she reached for a knife when Tina was on the top of her. However, the evidence said otherwise, and Tina was beat, stabbed, and had two swollen eyes. Shanterrica also sent text messages to Tina's boyfriend and friends to make it seem like Tina was still alive. Shanterrica is trying to appeal her case and possibly get a new trial. She claims she was mistreated and given ineffective counsel. This information was from an article in 2016, and it didn't give any more information on whether or not she was given a new trial, so I'm guessing she wasn't. The story made me really sad. I wonder why nothing more was done about this toxic living situation, or if there was, and it was just closed over the episode. However, it did say both girls tried to move out for some time, but it was hard to find a new apartment in the middle of the year. Seems like something that could have been prevented, and one is dead while the other is in jail for a very long time. I do think if you take a person's life like that, you need to be in jail for life. I hope Tina's family can move on, knowing that Shanterrica can't hurt anyone else. And again, I say, we're losing our black and brown young ladies to senseless crimes. Whereas here we had one that had a very promising athletic future that roommated with a friend or with someone that she didn't know but later became friends that had a boyfriend that was really into marijuana. And that's all she simply wanted to ask was not to smoke in the apartment. And from that, it escalated to this. If you would please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next.